Hey YouTube, connect to the team, and I finally got one. It was down to like 2400. Got this team, Talonflame, Furret, Clodsire, Shadow Talonflame at that. I'll talk about that in a second here. Got me up to 2505. I have switched out Clodsire for new Pokemon, and for one first set, 2545 is what I'm out to with this team. Very, very strong team. Started with Shadow Talonflame. I've gone against Shadow Talonflames before, and I recognize that the Shadow Incinerate damage is insane. And it's so insane that in what should be terrible matchups like Dedenne, you can actually make that way, way closer than you thought you would just by going Incinerate. And that is why I have Flame Charge on it, because the Flame Charge boosts your attack. And because Talonflame is so attack heavy with the Shadow damage here, the Incinerates chip a ton. So you don't really need Brave Bird. You can basically just go Incinerate, Fly, or Incinerate and buff that Shadow Incinerate and just kind of ramp up your way through a lot of matchups, which is what I did here. It is obviously when you add a shadow component to this, it makes the Pokemon much glassier. So I needed a few things. I needed to cover the rock weakness, double E to rock. You know, electric weakness was one of the main ones. So between the rock and electric, I put in Clodsire. And then I put in a safe swap in Fret. Now you are double weak to water. Talonflame, Clodsire are both weak to water. Depending on what that water is, you can outmaneuver some, you cannot. I think one of my losses here is against a Water Gun Lantern, where it's just like, oh, okay, what are you going to do there? But otherwise, a very strong team. Fred is obviously the safe swap, but you don't need a safe swap when you hit the Pokemon that is double weak to fire. They go one in and catch, which is kind of smart because you get a little bit of energy there without taking the damage on that Pokemon. So came in with the Zoom roll. I do have a Clodsire, which is an okay matchup. It is an overall winning matchup, especially with Sludge Bomb, because it only takes 2 Sludge Bombs to take out, and you'll just outpace. But it only takes 2 Ice Beams to take out, and because I let them have like a 2 bubble advantage, they may outpace me here, and they do. But there's no friggin' way I'm losing Switch when I have a Scizor on the lead. So I will stay, I will shield, and I will farm, and they make a catch on their Scizor, which is, I guess, a nice catch. They're just going to sacrifice this anyways, but obviously 2 Incinerates are just going to delete this. They do get to a Night Slash, though, and do I want to take a Shadow Night Slash from a Shadow Scizor? Like a Night Slash from a Shadow Scizor onto a Shadow Talonflame? Probably not. I assume that they're going to shield up anything on the Zoom roll, so I'm going to boost my attack to really threaten them. And they do not shield, which is fine, because what happens here now is you have an Empoleon, which is half steel, half normal. Sorry, half water. So it takes neutral, and I've already boosted my attack once, and now I just boosted it again. So the fact that I get 2 Incinerates off here already puts them to the yellow, because that's how much these Incinerate damages can really add up. And that's not even a Shadow Empoleon. That is just a regular Empoleon. And with that, I now have Furret, which has some bulk. It has a lot of pressure with that Sucker Punch damage. That I will just be able to commit to the fast move down. They're going to have to dump, but by that point, no, they can't. They don't even dump. I'm going to take them out, and if not, I can just Poison Sting down. Dragonite, Dragon resist fire, and I guess not surprising, but I saw quite a few dragons, so you got to get out of that matchup, and they eventually get into Fairthorn. So obviously a terrible matchup. I still don't know what the right play is. Swift is single resisted on the Steel, I believe. Grass would be at least double resisted on between the Grass and the Steel. However, Grass Trailblaze will boost your attack, and if you're doing if Sucker Punch is the only thing that's doing damage, maybe you want to boost your attack anyways, just to make sure that Sucker Punch damage is actually adding up. But as you're going to see here, this is my 3rd Swift, and can't quite take out, but at least that's what Furret can do. Even in bad matchups against like Steel Pokemon where you don't really have any charge moves to throw, that Sucker Punch just does add up and really puts on pressure. They give up Switch, which I am extremely, extremely surprised by. Clodsire's here. I assumed, poor assumption on my part, I assumed Thunder Punch and Superpower, because that's a recommended new moveset and it's a Shadow Pokemon, just to be hit with 2 Dragon Claws to take me out. So that does a ton of damage. Incinerates, can't quite take it out in 2, but they did sort of miss time. They do get a move off, so I guess they just want to get the move off. And now I know the Fairthorn's there. What else is in the back here? And it is a Talonflame. So, going for the Incinerate right away. I don't even know if I don't think that's the right move. I think I actually should just be going straight Flies. So I got to shield up 1. I don't know if it changes the counts because I go 2-2-2 anyways. So I think it's still just 2-2 on the fly. So here comes the first one. They shield, and here comes the second one. And this will take out because I boost my attack, plus I'm a shadow. So that takes out. And as long as they don't get to a move here, that incinerates elites. So Talonflame sweeping at the end there. Runerigus has Rock Tomb. Another reason I like it is because, you know, there's a lot of Pokemon with Rock Tomb and a Pokemon that can lower your attack. And just being able to boost it right back up, where, as you can see here, the incinerate damage does so much. You will see a lot. I do this, and I don't know if this is the right move, but I feel like it's more valuable to boost that attack than it is to fast move time. They threw a charge move. The optimal timing for minimizing your opponent's energy on an incinerate 5 versus 2 is throw 1 incinerate and then throw the charge move. So it would be 5 versus 6. Because I think it's more valuable just to have that incinerate damage boosted, I'm often throwing right after they throw the charge move, which lets them get a full fast move through. So is that the right play? I don't know. I just find it would be more valuable to boost that attack. But can see how it could potentially be wrong. I safe swap Furret, tried to half snipe. Not surprising that the Ghost has an answer for normal typing Pokemon. I was hoping that Lucario did not have Shadow Ball. It had like a fighting and electric, maybe Thunder Punch and fighting move. It had the Shadow Ball, so it did do quite a lot of chip. Went Earthquake. I didn't know if 2 Sludge Bombs would be enough, or if 1 Earthquake would be enough, but I'm kind of left in no man's land here in terms of needing a full Sludge Bomb anyways. So we'll throw the Sludge Bomb. I've got like 1 HP. I'm instant swapping here, but I was hoping that I was say I don't know how much energy they had. Then hoping I can Poison Sting down, and they still have another move. Runerigus with that Brutal Swing, able to kind of throw kind of quick here to just take me out with both of us. We would have gone down. It would have been a tie if we both got 1 fast move off there, but they do have a charge move. Unfortunately, another Dragon lead. So Furret safe swap coming in here. They have not gotten out yet. So I'm 1 throwing because it's going to do great chip or grab a shield. And 2, burning the clock a little bit, right? So Wigglytuff comes in. I do have 2 answers for this. Unfortunately, none of them are in the matchup right now. So we'll just try and chip with as much Swifts as I can. And Swift is a pretty okay move on a normal type Pokemon. So here comes a second Swift and takes it to the red. And then I'm going straight Clodsire. No charms resisted. I know they have an Icy Wind. But I just didn't want them to farm me down anyways. So I'd rather just give up switch here. And potentially take this down. Just to be met with a Corviknight. And this is where like the 45-second switch clock and desynced ability. I don't even know what the right term is. Comes into play where it's just like you're starting to jump around, throwing charge moves, and then your switch armors get desynced. So that way, you can now just get out immediately. I'm coming into this matchup because I think they had a bit of energy, and I just want them to dump it because I know Talonflame with 2 shield could potentially get through a lot of the matchup, even resisted, right? And there is your Dragonair, but the Dragonair is in the red. So I figured that if I can just take this out, which I can't, they do get to a second move. That's unfortunate because if it was 1 shielded, I could just incinerate my way through. Now they have 2 shields left. They come in with the Wigglytuff to take the move, which is fine. I don't really care about this. I care about boosting my attack here. And that attack now takes them pretty low if this registers. If they take me out, I'm in trouble. If they do not take me out, I'm good. And with 1 HP, I live. Trying to get the last shield. I don't even know if I need... Actually, trying to get a shield. I don't know if I need it. But in the ending, it looks like I do because I grabbed 1 shield there and I'm close to 2 Sludge Bombs here. So here's the first. They do shield. Here comes the second. We'll take them out. Able to get out of that otherwise tough lead. Okay, Quagsire. This is one where you just kind of need to play it out for a little bit here, maybe even fully. Okay, I was playing it out a little bit. I think I was hoping maybe to catch, or, Talonflame can eventually take out Quagsire with energy advantage and shields. But they decide basically almost to sort of sacrifice it, allowing me to get Sucker Punches and a Swift off to take it to the red. Out comes the Charizard, chipping it with Swift. They're running Ember, which means they're definitely at a Blast Burn. Is it worth a shield, or do I let it go? I do let it go. They obviously one-shot me. Coming in Clodsire. I assume I just have to let this go and try and go 2-shield Talonflame through the Quagsire and what's left here. They do let me farm them down, and out comes a Pharaoh. So throwing the Sludge Bomb, I'll probably just go 1, and then just try and incinerate my way through this, because the Quagsire is low. They have so much energy that they have to shield. They could get off 2 Aqua Tails here. That doesn't bother me too much, because I will come out with the second move as well, and that will grab the second shield back from the Pharaoh. And more importantly, that will boost my attack for the second time. So a 2 times boosted Incinerate is really going to do a lot of chip damage here on the Pharaoh. So as you can see, 1 Incinerate goes through, basically takes out 25% of the health, putting it in the yellow. They do Drill Peck me out. And now it is a race, and I do take him out with a Sludge Bomb. So, a couple Dragon leads, couple Water lead, still kind of working our way through a lot of this. Dusknoir is a tough one, because although the Incinerate damage adds up, so does the Shadow Punch damage, because they're Shadow too. I do shield up potential Dynamic Punch just to be hit with a Moltres. So this is one of those where I don't know. I played it out both ways. I don't know. I always say don't go into your answer immediately, and Furret as a normal typing with Sucker Punch is the biggest answer to Dusknoir in this meta. So I don't know if that's the right play to go in right here, and at the same time they just farmed perfectly, which means that they're not only going to take me out, they're going to be pretty close to a second move here as well. So that is why I'm coming Clodsire. I basically know they're at a second move. I just need to take the damage here, and then potentially try and 2-shield Talonflame through. Just be met with an Empoleon, and because I took too long, I was hoping as a non-shadow I would live this and get to an Earthquake. But I do actually 1 HP, so that is huge. Now I'm gonna have to try to do what I've been doing most of the time here, and just Incinerate, Flame Charge my way through this. They're likely to get to 2 Hydros here, which I will have to shield both of them. And then I also think that the Dusknoir still has a bit of energy left. Oh, I don't even have 2 shields. I only have 1. So, never mind. Going down there. Dedenne. This is the one I'm talking about. So, Incinerates are adding up. Obviously, Thunder Shocks are as well. It's super effective on a Shadow. No way I could take any sort of move. So I'm shielding. And once again, I know I'm letting the fast move go through. They've boosted their defense. I want to boost my attack right back, and they are shielding. So despite me having to burn a second shield coming up here, this Incinerate registering is going to take them to the red. Now, I've played this matchup out a couple times. If they shield, they're going to get to another move, especially that I'm not throwing on optimal timing here. So oftentimes I would try to catch here, or just go and absorb on something else. So that's exactly what I do there. I came in Furret. They eventually kind of hesitated a little bit, and then coming into a mirror match, but behind on energy. So I figured boosting your attack with Trailblaze, so the Sucker Punches add up more, and then when you throw a boosted Swift, the Sucker Punches have added up enough that it will take them out and give you Switch. And that's exactly what happens. There they go down. The Dedenne has a little bit left on it. Abomasnow, 1 Incinerate just Oh, I was like, that, I know it does a lot, but I don't think that's right. So what they did was basically cost themselves the game. I don't think they would have won anyways because Clodsire can also deal with Abomasnow. But basically they did, actually let me stop it because I don't know if anyone knows how the timing works on this. If you throw a 2-turn fast move, if you're a 2 versus 5 here, like we were Abomasnow, a 2-turn fast move versus a 5-turn Talonflame, you can throw 1 2-turn fast move and then catch that incinerate damage on another Pokemon that you switch out to. So what they did was they threw 1 fast move and then transferred the incinerate damage onto the Dedenne. The problem is that incinerate damage took out the Dedenne, which had some energy. So then I eventually do take out the Abomasnow. They take out Talonflame, dump energy. By that point, I've already chipped a good amount. Plus Poison Sting, Sludge Bomb, super effective that I easily take that matchup. Kanto Ninetales gets to overheat in 14. I'm going to respect that. And they do go right away to 14. So I just bank that energy once they get out into Dusclops and go into my furret. You know, Ghost is resisted. This is a good matchup, but not as amazing as you think it is, especially if you're behind a little bit on energy, because they get to 3 Ice Punches and take you to the deep red, especially with a lower attack furret here. So here comes the second Ice Punch. Takes me to the yellow, and they will get to a third one here, taking me to the deep red. So again, a little slow on the switch, allows them to get to the third Ice Punch. Doesn't matter too much. No, I take switch. I have energy. Ninetales comes in. I'm going to be able to chip with the Swift and maybe get to a second one. We'll see. Would have been close. They do throw. We'll have to see what is in the back here. And I instant swap and throw right away. And they do catch on the Azumarill, which is fine. Going to stay in and throw the second move and then probably swap. Just knowing that Clodsire can clean this up, but not if they get too much energy. Now, the only problem is Bubble, Ice Beam, super effective. They still have the Ninetales hanging in the back there. Sludge Bomb will be super effective, but it will not take out. So I've got to hope that 1, I can get another move off, and 2, they don't catch. And I'm going to throw on 4 versus 8, so the catching is kind of out of the question. Do chip it to the red. Looks like they are finally going Ice Beam here. I don't think it's enough to take out. And they come in Ninetales, but I'm already out of move. And then I can Poison Sting down. What's left of the Azumarill? Pangoro, fighter, so decent lead. Hypno is a psychic, so coming in here. Hypno has some bulk, but Sucker Punch is super resisted, super effective. So, chipping there. But the Shadow Confusions are adding up. Going for the Trailblaze to boost my attack. Hoping that I can take out here before they get to another move, and I can. So I got a boosted attack. I've got a little bit of energy. I keep switch on the Pangoro. Now, this will chip. They're going to have energy. You can definitely take 1 Night Slash, but I don't know about 2. So I think I just didn't want them to. This is kind of a risky swap, quite honestly. Like, I don't think I'd be happy if I was watching a subscriber make that swap. I understand there's one part of not being farmed down. 100% understand that. But if you got a Pangoro, which is a fighter, they may have something that can beat you, like beat poisons and stuff that resist fighting. Luckily, so it is a Talonflame. They did get 1 shield from me. I can't shield up the first Night Slash. Does well over 50%. Do incinerate down, which means I have like 3 or 4 incinerates already. 4 incinerates already. So here comes the first fly. I'm 1 incinerate away from the second fly. They know that. They just let it go. Take that matchup. Marowak, good lead. ish. You're both getting to the... They're getting to Rock Slide in 15 too. So it's risky, right? We're throwing right away, just boosting my attack. But now, what makes this Pokemon risky is, one, yes, Mud Slap is resisted, but it's only single resisted. Double resisted on the flying, super effective on the fire. And because I'm a Shadow and they're a Shadow, it's really adding up. Could I live a Bone Club here? Yeah, probably. Oh, they already baited Bone Club, so there's a Rock Slide, so I had to shield. So they did grab both shields. It is a Bastiodon. I was going to instant swap anyways. And, you know, thankfully, this is why you do if you have a couple answers to Bastiodon in the back. Furret could have, not a good matchup, but you could chip your way through that. They eventually just swapped out right into Fortress. I don't have a charge move, but I don't care. That's not the point of this. I just need to chip as much as I can to be able to take this out because the Clodsire is going to wreck Bastiodon. So here comes a Rock Tomb. Not enough to take me out. Hopefully I get to another Swift here. I can't. I assume I still sacrifice this and I have a charge move. And they catch on the Bastiodon. So nice catch there, keeping their Fortress alive for maybe later. Unfortunately for them, later is going to be met with a Clodsire that's going to have a ton of energy and basically take out this Bastiodon. So here comes the Earthquake, double super effective. You know, what do you do here? They do shield, getting a flamethrower. I think maybe they're hoping that the 45-second switch clock they can burn and not take this Earthquake. It's going to be close, right? Because you can see my Talonflames coming up here, which is why I'm not screwing around. I don't care about timing. Get this Earthquake off, double super effective, get this out of here. And I basically do get it out, and they allow me to get the farm down. A few more poisons, and I'll take that matchup. So, very strong team. Probably started around 2360-ish with this team and got to 2505 with this part. Changed one Pokemon for one start. So I have that 2545, but I am 0-2 in the second set. But like one of them was just like a Bastiodon lead, swapped into Furret, got Primeape, and then it was a Ghost and Grass in the back. So I was like, okay, no chance. Anyways, stay tuned for that later. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.